Hey ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be part 1 to What If Naruto died and was reincarnated into the world of that time I died and was reincarnated as a slime. It's quite a mouthful, but I'm back. I've been gone for only like 3 weeks, and I'm not going to make some excuse of why I was gone. I probably took like a week to write a script of like the entire like first like 4 or 5 parts, and then I kind of was just like, do I really want to record it yet? Because like I don't know, I've just been tired, so I decided I was gonna wait a little bit. But here I am, I'm done procrastinating, and here's part 1 of What If Naruto died and was reincarnated into the world of that time I died and was reincarnated as a slime. Holy crap. It's so hard to say that even after, like, not necessarily rehearsing it, but I've said it a few times, my dear God. Okay, so let's start the what if. Ooh, one more thing. Before we get started, there's a little poppy button, or like a little button that pops up on your top right of your screen. Click on that. It's just a simple question. I don't really care what you answer, because it's just asking if you guys want me to do a face reveal on one of my next videos, but I don't really care if I do or not, so I'll leave it up to you guys. It's a yes or no question. Fairly simple. So yeah. Now this time, let's actually get into the what if. Okay, so where this is going to take place is obviously it's the same thing for the what if slime one, because that event doesn't have to change. The dude gets shot and stabbed, whatever he gets stabbed, and he goes through the same like ow it hurts, ow it burns, stuff like that. He gets turned into a slime, just like he does in the original, and now this is where Naruto pretty much has to die. So now we have to wonder where he actually gets killed. And the one I came up with, or the one that I pretty much thought was the most simplest to explain and would have been like the best time for Naruto to die, was during the Pain Invasion. As we can all remember, he would have been captured by Pain if it wasn't for Hinata pretty much seemingly dying and Naruto transforming into the Six Tails. So in this, Hinata doesn't have the nerve to jump down and try to save Naruto, and Naruto is carried off to get the Biju extracted from him. And obviously, this would hurt a lot. As we can see with when Gaara was getting the Biju extracted from him, he was like screaming, kicking around, and it looked like he wasn't exactly having the greatest of times. So when this is happening to Naruto, he's thinking to himself. He's not saying anything out loud, obviously. He's just thinking, and he's just like, just to think, this Sage Mode wasn't enough. What would I have to do in order to defeat him? Like, I can't resort on that beast. Maybe there's like some kind of beast Sage Mode or great Sage Mode or something like, what if it was something like Dragon Sage Mode? I would easily be able to take them out. And this voice appears in Naruto's head, saying something along the lines of, added. Or not added, but analyzing Sage Mode. And it's like being incorporated into the thing, just like how it was with Rimuru. I can't remember his actual name. So Naruto keeps hearing these voices in his head saying, analyzing, and then successful, or analysis. I don't remember exactly how the conversation goes, but it pretty much analyzes what Naruto is saying and adds it into when he gets reincarnated. So it's adding these things such as Sage Mode, Beast Sage Mode, Great Sage Mode, and Dragon Sage Mode that Naruto is just listing off. And he thinks that this is really weird, because he's never really had this voice talking to him. Maybe even this is Kurama, but in a different way. He doesn't actually know what this voice is, but quickly he gets snapped out of it as an immense pain is sent shivering through his entire body, and he's like, oh my god, it burns! And the voice appears back in his head again. And this time, it says, fire resistance analyzing. Fire resistance successful and added to your whatever you call it thing. So Naruto is wondering what this voice is, wondering if some god is mocking him, wondering if this is really going to be the end of him. And he keeps thinking to himself, he's just like, what is actually happening? Am I dreaming? Was I somehow like poisoned or something like that? Was like, what actually happened? Like, like, was I poisoned and now I'm like dreaming of something? Or am I actually getting killed right now? And Then the voice appears once again in Naruto's head. This time, pretty much telling Naruto that poison resistance was analyzed and added to his reincarnation cycle. And Naruto's like, what the actual fuck is happening? What's this voice? And before Naruto can really think anymore, everything turns black. And Naruto is looking around and he sees this voidscape, wondering if he was dead now. He's trying to look around, but he can't really seem to move all that well. And he seems to see a little bit of a light in the distance, and he starts pretty much trying to move towards it. But again, he can't really move that well. And Naruto manages to figure out how to pretty much move in this endless void, and he sees something. Everything's really dark, but he can see again. He can feel, he can touch, and he's wondering what is happening. And he touches a rock, and he feels that it was kind of weird. It doesn't feel the same as when he would touch things before. And he's trying to look at his hand now, but he notices that it's not exactly what he was expecting to see. And what Naruto sees kind of startles him, because when he's looking at his hand almost seems human. He has a little bit longer fingernails, and everything else seems to be pretty much the same. But Naruto starts looking at the rest of his arm, and he notices that it's a different skin tone. It's like almost a red, like a really light red color. It's still like the same kind of color as skin, but it's more of like a reddish tint to it. And Naruto then feels something on its back, and he turns around and he sees wings. And Naruto's like, what the actual fuck? What is this? And then there's a voice that appears in his head. It's the same voice. And it tells him that he was reincarnated into this world from the one he just came from. And it also tells him that due to all of the different abilities that Naruto pretty much stated, such as the Sage modes, the fire resistance, the poison resistance, and all of those, that Naruto isn't even a human anymore. He was actually turned into something completely different. The voice then told him that Naruto, again, wasn't human. He was partially human and partially dragon. He was pretty much like dragonkin, or dragonborn, dragon blood, whatever you want to call him. Naruto is pretty much a mix of breed between a dragon and a human. And he resumed he regained some of his human features, and his pretty much features are pretty much the same, except he gained some wings. And his physical strength is obviously boosted as well, and he gained affinity for some different types of magic, such as fire and lightning, because, like fire breath, or maybe even he gained ice, like fire, ice, whatever he gained. We'll go into that later when he actually learns like magic spells and different things like that. And Naruto's like, what is this? How did this happen? What even am I? And Naruto's wandering through this cave, and he can actually see a little bit better now, and he sees this blob sitting on the floor kind of relatively close to him, and Naruto goes to pick it up. And this thing squirms out of his hands and runs away, and Naruto follows it, unknowing to this slime. And as the slime pretty much runs off, Naruto feels this massive presence coming from the direction that the slime is heading in. And Naruto, as he gets closer, he actually sees what it is. It's a massive dragon that seems to be trapped in some kind of cage. And Naruto is pretty much hiding, and the slime runs up to him. And the dragon starts talking to him. And eventually, he goes through the same process, telling him to learn Mana Sense, and then pretty much making it so that he could talk. And Naruto is astonished by this. This slime was talking, and Naruto now jumps out, and he's walking up to the dragon, and he's just like, what is this talk of reincarnation? I don't know exactly how I got here. I was seemingly killed in my world, and then I just kind of poofed, and now I'm here. And the slime then turns around, and he looks at this unnamed beast. And Naruto, I keep calling him Naruto. This unnamed creature, because Naruto doesn't have a name, because Naruto's a beast. Yeah, cool. And the slime turns around and he looks at this unnamed beast, and he's pretty much, wait, you were reincarnated too? You died? And I'm calling him Naruto for now, but he doesn't have a name. Got that? Cool. And he turns around or he looks at him and he's just like, yeah, were you two? Were you reincarnated here? And they pretty much have a conversation about this, and they figure out that their worlds are like vastly different. Naruto's had magic and tailed beasts and massive and tons of like all these different things, whereas the slime came from a human world with technology and no magic and all these different things. And they compare these two worlds, and the dragon pretty much tells them, he's just like, this is somewhat of a mix between those two worlds. We have advanced technology, but we also have the magic powers that the dragonkin pretty much came from. And he's just like, this is probably the better of your two worlds, or three, whatever you want to call it. And he offers to give them a name. He now names the slime Rimuru, and he then looks to the dragonkin. And he's thinking of a good name for him, and he comes up with, I will call you Crimson, due to your slightly different tone of skin color. And Naruto's like, or Crimson is like, okay, that's a cool name, I like that. And Naruto feels a massive surge of power flowing through him as he pretty much evolved. And Naruto's pretty much hands get a little bit more scaly, and his wings get bigger, his muscles pretty much grow. And Naruto's trying to figure out what just happened, and the voice appears back in his head again. And it tells them that due to Naruto pretty much being a beast, and beasts having names make them more powerful, and obviously this dragon is really powerful, making it so a creature could pretty much rank up, Naruto pretty much ranked up, and that he has now become the Dragonborn, which is, I don't know, I'm trying to make stuff up, or not as I go, but I tried to make stuff up a while ago when I was writing the script, and Dragonborn seemed to be a more powerful version of somebody with dragon blood, because they pretty much regained their human intelligence, but didn't have the pretty much human strength. They had the strength of a dragon. It's a complicated subject, but Naruto pretty much gained a massive power boost from this, and I'm also going to say he has the ability to pretty much unscalify his pretty much arms and stuff like that, so he can look a little bit more normal. But when he does, he can like go into battle and use his scales, and that would pretty much allow him to, how do I word this? That would like allow him to like gain like a little bit of like defense on like his arms and different things like, such as that. And now Rimuru is pretty much talking to this giant dragon, and he's pretty much just like, can I get you out of there somehow? Like maybe by like analyzing the corners or something, some stuff like that. And after a little bit of time, they figure out that they can't really do that unless Rimuru had a way to get to the other side. And eventually the two of them decide that Rimuru is going to use one of his skills, and he's going to pretty much absorb or eat, whatever you want to call it, the dragon, and he does so, once again gaining a massive power boost. And Rimuru is more powerful than Naruto now, or not Naruto, Crimson now, so he pretty much is just like trying to teach him some of his abilities, maybe if he can. And he's just like, oh, that ability I just used? Yeah, that was called Predator. It allows me to pretty much eat these creatures, and I gain the abilities of them. And Naruto's thinking of this, and he's like, is there a way I could do something similar to that? And the great sage pretty much starts talking to Naruto, and it's just like, you can't use that exact ability, but there's an ability that you can use to pretty much absorb the strength and the abilities of the creatures that you encounter. This ability is called Engulf. It is due to your pretty much dragon heritage that you are able to do this, and now you gain the extra skill Engulf, which pretty much allows Naruto to do pretty much what Rimuru does. In a way, it's not the same thing. Again, not the same thing. So, like, he won't pretty much, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain exactly what it is, but he pretty much like engulfs, kind of like how the name suggests, his enemies in flames, and he can pretty much like incinerate them completely, and if he can completely incinerate them, he can like suck the flames back into himself, and he gains all the different things from the pretty much ashes of what his flames just kind of burned. So Naruto can do that, and Rimuru can still do his... Why do I keep calling... Crimson can do that, and Rimuru can still just use his Predator ability. So as they're heading out of the cave, they come across a few enemies, such as like the giant serpent, or the... or I almost called water an enemy. So how Rimuru pretty much like drank the water and like tried shooting it out. Naruto can't exactly do that, but he can do a pretty similar thing with his flames by the time they pretty much exit the cave. So they get out of the cave and they gained all their different abilities. Naruto does not have the ability to transform into the things that he absorbs, though. He just gains their abilities, but Rimuru can actually transform into them, such as when he transformed into the dire wolf, or transformed into the giant serpent, or transformed into the girl. Why can't I remember her name right now? I don't know, but I can't remember her name. So they're pretty much walking, and they see a giant gate, and they're like, yes, we can finally leave. And the gate starts to open, and they both go and hide, and they pretty much are detected. This time they are actually detected due to there being both of them there instead of just Rimuru. There's two powerful monster signatures there. So the pretty much three humans are looking at them, and they're just like, we know you're there, now come out. And they both walk out, or Rimuru bouncing out, and Crimson is looking at them, and he's just like, humans? This is the first time I've seen them. They're in this world too, are they? And the humans start to talk, and they're just like, it's me, because they can sense just how powerful these two are. And they start trying to run away, but Crimson talks to them, and he's just like, hey, wait. Can you, like, explain some things to me? I'm kind of new here. Can you guys help me out here? And they walk back, and Crimson and Rimuru pretty much explain their situation of how they died and were reincarnated into this world. And this is actually fairly common knowledge among everybody there, due to like summons and reincarnations and all these different people and the different ways they can get there. So they would pretty much explain this, and they'd explain that they were both humans, and the three humans would be pretty like, whew, okay, they're not gonna kill us. And they pretty much explained some things about the world to them, like such as there's a goblin village pretty close to there where they could maybe even try to get some supplies, even though the goblins there aren't that powerful or smart or anything like that. Maybe they could do something with it. So Crimson and Rimuru both head off in that direction, and this is where they encounter a few goblins. The goblins bow in front of them, and they're pretty much just like, oh, powerful monsters, don't do anything. And Rimuru turns around because he's just like, who are you guys talking to? But Naruto doesn't. He knows very well just the pretty much aura that is emitting off of Rimuru and himself. And he's been trying to conceal it pretty much since he started, but he hasn't actually been able to yet. So pretty much they continue along, and they are pretty much seen as like the saviors of the goblins, or because Rimuru pretty much heals them due to absorbing whatever the plants are called and turning them into the potions. So they're seen as like the saviors of the village, and then they are asked if they would want to help them pretty much protect themselves against the dire wolves. And that's where I'm going to leave this part off, so I'll see you guys in the next part. Sorry for like the 3-week break that took off, or it's more like a 2-week break because I wrote the script, but I don't know. It's whatever. So yeah, see you guys in the next part. Peace out. Bye.